Tesla has been a greatly successful company since its IPO in 2010. Tesla stock has appreciated by approximately 40,000% since then. This means a $1,000 investment at the IPO would be worth about $400,000 today. Elon Musk himself pointed out that when Tesla went public, it was just 0.1% of its market cap today. Forbes is now reporting that Elon just became the first person in the world to achieve a $500 billion net worth. But don't be one of those people that will think this is not fair. Elon says he builds companies that achieve great things and then are assigned a big value. Tesla shared a video of one of their employees, a rags to riches story, because at Tesla, every employee, 125,000 strong, earns Tesla shares, and they also benefit, not just Elon. Despite accusations from the media, we'll review the list of the top executives at the company, and you'll see their tenure. The number of years on average they've worked at the company is 9 years or longer. Today, we've got Larry Goldberg joining us. He's a serial entrepreneur with 50 years of entrepreneurship and has been an active venture capital investor for the last decade. Welcome, Larry.
Thanks, Herbert. Great to be here with you.
Yep. This is a topic that I really wanted to reserve for you because you did, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, you did this great research. I think you said the top, do you remember, like 100, 200?
No, it was a smaller number. I think it was 48 people in total. And yeah, the average tenure was 9 years in the senior management.
Yeah.
And but the average age was in the 40s.
Mm,
The average age
very
was not in the high 40s, but like mid 40s, And I don't know if you saw, I posted this week the top 10 in management of Apple.
Oh, yep. I did not see that. Okay.
What do you think the average age was?
55.
No. Of the top 10, there are only
Yeah.
4 under the age of 60.
Okay.
By next year, there'll only be 1 under the age of 60.
Wow. Okay.
So the average age is actually going to be over 60 next year. It's probably 60 plus, maybe 61, 62. So I mean, I don't want to shame
These are data
Apple
points.
here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yep. And well, the point is that you did a lot of research on Tesla, and so this is perfect timing for you. Let's go through the data here. We've got Elon Musk became the first person in the world to achieve a $500 billion net worth. He's the one and only member of the $500 billion exclusive club, and he's projected to be the world's first trillionaire. This is a research done by Forbes magazine. It says 500 billion. First person to hit that. Here's the list. You got Larry Ellison at 351, Mark Zuckerberg at 245, Jeff Bezos, and Larry Page. This guy, Seth Dillon, says the belief that this only happens by exploitation is so absurd. Wealth of this magnitude is an indication of the incalculable value that's been created for the entire world, right? Instead of resenting the rich, it's better to think of their gain as ours. And if anything, it should inspire others to take bold risks and create something of value. Elon says, I build a lot of things with awesome people, and the companies that build those things get assigned a big value. I also did using Grok, figured out, okay, if he's worth 550 billion now, 500 billion now, when will he get to 1 trillion? And I won't read all this, but basically it says that if the Tesla stock, if everything is held flat, Tesla stock hits 1,220 from 440 at this point, then that's when he gets $1 trillion. He needs to at least triple, 2.73 times the current market cap. Thoughts on his, just his wealth. And of course, Larry, you or yourself are a multi-entrepreneur, so building companies is tremendously valuable, not only to your employees, but their customers and, of course, the world, right?
Well, firstly, we should also talk about just how difficult it is. I mean, it would be very difficult to describe the pain and suffering that successful CEOs, successful founders, successful builders have to sustain over years. I mean, years. It didn't happen overnight at Tesla, and it certainly didn't happen overnight for Elon. Tesla was his third major venture, And when you think about how many iterations of Tesla there's been, it's like fourth, fifth, and sixth, and he's had several other ventures. So each startup, each successful startup is the result of extremely hard work, extremely difficult circumstances, huge pressures. And he's done that like 7 times, 8 times, maybe more. It's very difficult for an ordinary human being like us to conceive of the kinds of pressures and the kinds of the kinds of problems he's had to work through. We see we just see the surface of it, but man, he's got the resilience of I don't know, the hide of a rhinoceros and the resilience of what is a resilient animal? I don't even know. I can't
Cockroach.
even,
But yeah.
I can't even imagine, a person or a human being or an animal with that kind of resilience to take all the shocks and all the pain and all the suffering that you have to go through to build, and to build it 7, 8, 9 times, and to sustain it over this many years. Hats off. All I can say is hats off. I can't, I have to go back to, I know I frequently mention him, I have to go back to Edison to think of anybody who went through quite as much turmoil and difficulty and overcame so many difficulties in their life. And maybe he's definitely exceeded Edison in terms of net wealth, even comparative wealth. So yeah, he's an N of one.
Yeah.
N of
And
one.
he works so hard too. So obviously, late nights and so forth. This is a nice video I played earlier this week, but I thought it's quickly we can play it again. This is Elon in 2010, and the day when Tesla got listed on Nasdaq. Today it's worth 1.39 trillion. And he replied to that. Said Tesla went public for 0.1% of today's current market cap. And that just give that a thought of where he took this company from basically nowhere to where it is today.
Yeah, and he's had some capital infusions. So he got a loan for a couple of years from the U.S. government, quite a large amount of money. I think it was in the over $700 million. Raised quite a lot of money relative amount of money in the IPO, maybe $13 million. And then they've had 2 rights issues, 2 sale of shares at market, totaling a couple of $1 billion. So, add it all together, and the whole the total capital poured into this company is under $3 billion. And look at it today. I mean, it's worth, in the $1.3 trillion range. So
Yeah.
400 times. Yeah.
He's able to take small amount of capital relatively and make it incredible. This is what he said in 2010.
First of all, I should mention that not only were we able to increase the size of the offering and price above the range, but the quality of investor that people will see, when people see who's investing in an IPO, it's the smartest, most long-term thinking investors in the market. It's really an amazing set of investors. So I think it's just worth noting that the smartest money in the world is betting on Tesla. They must have a reason for doing so, because obviously to go public and increase the range and increase the price in this market is not easy. And these are very well-informed people.
And that's 2010. He was just launched a company several years before, but he went public, and he's trying to convince people that electric vehicles is a thing. Today, this is what he's now saying today. This guy says, I estimate a 5 times in revenue for Tesla 5 years from now. And Elon says, with extremely good execution, this is possible. So this is where he's going to grow the company even today.
Yeah, and it's going to require extraordinary execution of the order of the execution that they've demonstrated in the past. Yeah, I mean, it's quite remarkable. It is quite remarkable. And the consistency with which he iterates and reinvents his companies and refocuses his companies, it's just remarkable. I have to say I study history a lot. I study companies a lot, and I study economics a lot, and I can't find I can't find an equal. Never mind a parallel, an equal. If I go back in history, I just can't find it. He is an N of one.
You are an N and one, Larry. You've also been a serial entrepreneur yourself, and that's why you understand
Not
it's hard, but
not even a glimmer, not even a smidgen of percentage of what Elon has done, because
yeah.
I don't think I would have wanted to commit myself to that level. I don't think I would have wanted the pain and the angst and the pressure and the disappointments, and even for all the highs that he gets out of it, I don't think I could have done it. I wouldn't have been able to do it. I wouldn't have wanted to do it.
Yeah. And the other thing about Elon, of course, is he doesn't know anything about, rockets. And then he had to like dive deep and learn it and then learn everything about factories until the point that he did at one point say, I think I'm probably the person on earth that knows the most about factories today.
Yeah.
But it's like sheer work and diving deep and learning so hard, so as much as you can from both books, but also, real
Putting
life.
hands on. But the one thing he does understand is physics. So he studied physics and he studied economics. So if you take those two and you really learn at the level of depth and at the level of, I think it's integration of these truths of these laws in his mind, integrating it into his whole, his whole method of thinking. That's what counts. Then the study of whether it's engineering or whether it's material science or whether it's economics or whether it's financial analysis, that comes naturally because he's got the building blocks of everything we know about science, everything we know about math. So being able to imbibe the underlying theory of all of this gives you an incredible leverage. And, none of us have done that. None of us have gone through that. Very few other human beings do it. And no human beings with the practical drive, with the ambition of spirit that Elon has got, and the sense that he has to save humanity. So that adds to the drive to utilize all this brilliance that he's got, all this genius he's got for integrating these principles into practical solutions.
Okay, so his genius, it's so often that you'll hear people say, Elon doesn't deserve $1 trillion. That's so unfair to the world. And then look what he's accomplished or what he's done. But they forget Tesla has 125,000 employees. They have a ton of management people, and he only comes in really to fix fires. Obviously, set this direction and makes decisions that will make the company succeed. But day to day for many divisions, he's not running Giga Shanghai at this point. You got Tom Zhu that's doing that, and he's done such a great job. It's like maybe Elon, gives that mind share, once a quarter or something like that. But the rest of the time, he's focused everywhere else. And so anything that Giga Shanghai achieves, everybody goes, "Good job, Elon." No, I mean, it's Tom Zhu. Like every one of these folks, they got great teams that he built in his image. So 125,000 employees, and they all have shares and stock options. So it's like not only did Elon make money, shareholders who invested made money, but Tesla employees who were given shares as part of the compensation package, they made money. Tesla dropped this, said that Kyoko has been with Tesla for 12 years. She used her hard-earned Tesla stock and the tremendous value it's generated over the years to buy a new home for her family. At Tesla, we believe in sharing our success and empowering our people through our employee equity programs. Kyoko's journey to home ownership is just one of many examples to help us building. Please join us. Vote yes on the board. This is Kyoko. I'll play the video. Travis Axelrod, the PR person. I'm sorry, the investor relations person for Tesla. So many incredible colleagues like Kyoko have similar stories here. Tesla, this is just one example. Let's listen to her story.
I was the first out of 5 kids to buy my own house. I'm living my dream. This would have not been possible without Tesla stock. Hi, my name is Kyoko Orange. I've been at Tesla for 12 years. I started in plastics department. I worked my way up. I was a production associate and then a team lead and then became a supervisor. Growing up for me, so there's 5 of us. We just didn't have it like other kids. We, all 5 of us kids, used to live in one of our family friends' trailers. We just knew our parents couldn't afford it. So I started at Tesla. I grew with all the opportunities and I was able to start a family of my own. Now I have 4 kids. I bought a Model Y, so now we can fit my whole family in one car. We bought our condo. Now we bought our house. Tesla stock was able to help us put down a huge down payment for our house, about 3/4. It's a good feeling to have, to be able to provide for your kids, seeing a smile and laughter on their faces. My dad, he had passed, so I wish he was here to, to see. I think he would have been really proud because they never had, a house they own, and his daughter has her own house. So I think he would have been really proud.
Great story. It's just like, people forget there's 125,000 employees. They work really, really hard and they get to, get salaries, but more importantly, the stock options. And so if the company exceeds, it's not just Elon that's making money. All of these employees make money.
And it gets better because that's just one of Elon's companies. Now you have to add SpaceX, another, 25,000 people. And then, he's got this burgeoning business of, XAI, and you have to add those employees, and Boring Company and those employees, Neuralink and those employees. And each and every one of them participate in the equity of their companies. So can you imagine what he's done in terms of distributing the wealth to 150 odd thousand people across the world? I mean, what other entrepreneur can claim that? Name me an entrepreneur that can claim the wealth that he or she has spread to 150,000 people. I mean,
the name that might come up is Jensen Huang of NVIDIA. Again, another great entrepreneur, but apparently he's made the most millionaires because the stock shot up and almost every one of his employees.
But it's a lot fewer people than the Tesla and SpaceX and Neuralink and Boring Company and X combined. I mean, it's not even close. So if you take the total wealth, I mean, it is extraordinary. And yes, Jensen's done a great job. I mean, hats off to Jensen, but he is also, somebody who's in that top, stellar. And people don't realize is that millionaires and billionaires, but billionaires and millionaires create. They build. Those that get there by building, they build for people and for their customers and for their employees and for their shareholders. They build. And so, they certainly take a piece of it, but generally it's a very small piece of it.
It's true, isn't it? Like really, like this whole comp plan that we're talking about, Elon needs to get 1% per year And then it turns out to 1 trillion, but no, you're making the company 8.5 trillion. You're making it 20 trillion. The other thing I want to just bring up is that you mentioned is the customers. We forget that the reason why these companies succeed is because they're doing something that customers appreciate, love. There's a great product. There's a great impact to the world and humanity. So Elon making electric vehicles a thing, right? He basically did it. He enforced the entire industry. All automakers now need to create electric vehicles to succeed in the future. He made that happen. The impact to the environment, but also smart cars and where we're headed there. Everything he's doing is it's great, progress for the Earth and the world. So that's good. Let's cover the bench, the executives. And this is the research you did, but let's update it to where it is today. And you've got Alexander Mertz kind of put together the list of the Tesla bench, and these are their X accounts. Ashok Goswami, Bonnie Ellison, in no particular order. I won't read through all this right now, but there's his Franz Wood, Holhausen, 17 years, and so forth. And this chart was created by Bloomberg. These are executives in charge at Elon's car company, and these are the direct reports. These are his direct reports. And you look at, Ashok's been there for 11 years, 8 years, 2 years, 9 years, 17 years, 15 years, 11 years, 7 years, 13, 15, and so forth. So this is his entire kind of direct reports. And yes, there are turnover. But again, with 125,000 employees, it's ridiculous when you go, oh my God, 5 people left. Yeah, that happens in every company. But I guess the part that I want to point out, and you've said this many times, is that people who work there has been there for many, many, many years. And it's there's a reason why that is, right?
No question about it. These are brilliant people. These are people who have gone through the wars with Elon for many years, and the average tenure hasn't changed since my study, going back 2 years, almost 2 years, maybe a year and a half. Yeah, almost 2 years. But what's missing in there is a column with those people's ages.
Yeah.
Because the ages, if you compare that to Apple, Apple, you may have longer tenure at the top, but you've got people who are aging, as I pointed out earlier, over 60 years of age. Now, come on. You seriously going to run one of the top technology companies in the world with 60-year-olds? These are people who, like me, learned to type on literally typewriters. I mean, there's something wrong. And if you look at the Tesla environment, you've got that almost perfect balance of new people coming in, but people with a lot of experience. And people do burn out. People do reach, 7 to 10 years and they've really burned out and they move on. But in a way, it's a good thing. In a way, it's kind of like life. It's kind of like, cells,
replacement. Yeah, I think your point is right, which is tenure is obviously a good thing. Because the only reason we're bringing it up is the media always attacks, all the executives are leaving. Tenure is a good thing, but too much tenure is not. And these guys have a good kind of, bringing up the young, switching it out. The other thing that's interesting about that list is these guys have been there for so long, as you can see how many years they've been. They're all mega rich because the company 20x'd and they were given shares. And so yet they choose to continue, as you had positioned at the beginning, chewing glass and working really hard and trying to achieve, because they're not there for just money at this point. They're there. They want to achieve this mission. They saw that EVs was able to be accomplished. Now they're looking at energy, of course, and mega packs, and then they're going to go with autonomous driving. That's what they're really driving, and then eventually robots, hopefully to a sustainable abundance future. It can go either way, but boy, if they do their jobs right, at least they might care. They care about humanity, not just making money. So hopefully this will turn out to be positive.
And there's a second order effect that people don't actually realize. And the second order effect is actually very powerful. And that is those people that burn out and leave, they take a year, they take a beat. And then what do?
Yeah.
They create amazing companies, Redwood,
Redwood.
Impulse Space. Some of the most important upcoming companies come from people who have learned at Elon's knees. They have learned, they imbibe, they understand, and then they go out and they create new companies and they bring more wealth to, millions of people, maybe even billions of people in some cases. So, what could be bad about that?
That's a really good point, Larry. So I went and found the images about the PayPal Mafia. So Elon started this company called X, and then Peter Thiel started a company called PayPal, and then they merged it, and then they were both leading this. Look at this photo. This is Elon Musk way at the beginning, early days, and Peter Thiel. And then this is an amazing photo. This is called the PayPal Mafia because every one of these people that worked with Elon, they turned out to be incredible business people. And look what they did for the world. Here's the names, right? And then you can see the big names, Tesla, of course, Stripe, ZocDoc, let's see, Evernote, Solar City, Founders Fund, Facebook, Quora, Uber, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Palantir, Lyft, Airbnb, OpenAI, YouTube. That's a big one. So just the number of companies that these guys, after this experience, they went and started other companies, Uber, and just massive impact to the world.
Yeah,
and then they created businesses and gave money to the employees and to the shareholders and to customers.
If you look at the guy second from the right, that's Roelof Botha. And Roelof Botha is like Roelof Botha. I mentioned him because he's a fellow South African. But Roelof, he is, I guess you would say, the grand old man of startups in the firmament. He's Sequoia Capital. He runs Sequoia Capital today, just to give you a sense of it. So he stands, at the very pinnacle of venture capital. So you could pick out any of these names and just, they have like this incredible history behind them, founding YouTube. It's just incredible what they've done, Keith Rabois, another one who's, the head of venture capital in like one of the top venture capitalists in the world. David Sachs, our czar, our AI czar, is one of the PayPal Mafia, and let's see if we can identify him here. He's here towards the. Let's see if we can actually. I can't actually. Some of these guys.
Photo?
Oh, there he is. A fourth, I think,
right here.
from the left. Yeah,
that's David Sachs.
Fourth from the left. Yeah, that's David. And so, it's just amazing, this group of people that came out of it. And I have to tell you, this is nothing compared to what's coming out of SpaceX.
That's what I'm asking you.
Tesla today. And so if you think about Elon's contribution, you can't just think about the 7 companies he's currently running, or 6 companies now that he's currently running. You have to also think about what he created when he created the first X.com and then PayPal, and what came out of that. And Peter Thiel had a lot to do with that as well, but you just understand the quality and the value of having an entrepreneur like that come forward. And so there's this whole list of companies. If you go to any of the great space startups today, and there are a lot of them, and some of them are very important in terms of where the industry's going, you will find a huge number of SpaceX graduates. And I call graduates because it's a school they go to, and Elon teaches them in school. And the companies that Elon runs imbibes his spirit, imbibes his, his 5 steps, learns to implement them, learns to apply them, and then goes out and into the world and builds even greater, companies. So it's very difficult to say, oh, he, took all this money, he's made all this money and blah, blah, blah. No, he's given the world a huge number of incredible value, enterprises, but also people.
Great points. Also, he's not done yet. Hopefully, he's going to create many more companies.
No, I don't think he's done. I think he's going
and
to.
Tesla is going to grow bigger, and we're just at the beginning of lots of
I'm
things.
certain that he's going to create dramatically greater value in the future than he has created in the past.
Already. There you go. Mic drop. Thank you so much, Larry. You're the best. Appreciate you. And your thoughts are fantastic. Thank you. Larry Goldberg. Follow him at Tesla Larry. Check out his new venture called Lumacenti. Check it out, lumacenti.com. You can see that right here. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.